What's going on, guys? Pilot here. A little bit of a grainy video, sorry about that, but here I'm going to talk about this, which is the Couch Console, which I got from Kickstarter. It came in a couple of days ago, but I've had a couple of days with it, and now I want to talk about it. But mainly what I want to talk about is the actual campaign. You can watch me unbox this here, and I'll give some comments and on the physical side of it, but mainly I want to talk about the actual Kickstarter campaign, maybe as a warning for people that maybe don't know about Kickstarter and want to know the sort of ups and downs of it. But here we go. So I've backed a good few Kickstarters in my time, and all of them have been pretty successful, and I understand that's quite lucky because Kickstarter does have its peaks and valleys in terms of what you get. But when this happened, I backed this during lockdown, and I thought it was quite a cool product. It is basically just it's just a couch tidy is what it really is, with a couple of kind of cool amenities attached to it and stuff like that. But for the campaign, they wanted $15,000 to manufacture these and get them into people's hands, and they were overbacked by a lot. They actually got $2.3 million instead of 15,000. So obviously that came with that was going to add a lot of stress to them and make things take a little bit longer to produce that many more, which was fine. And there were delays along the way. There were a lot of delays and a bit of mismanagement going on as well, I would say. But what got me the most was the communication from Ebite, the company that made this. It was shocking throughout, absolutely shocking. They were... At the beginning, they were quite informative, but then it seemed like they had just stopped caring. But what actually seemed more likely is that they had eventually outsourced their communications department to somewhere out in the east, because we were now just getting canned responses to pretty valid questions and concerns. We were getting canned responses that were coming in at really odd times during the day. They were obviously not on US time. They were not on European time either, so they were somewhere way out east. And it seemed likely that they just had a sheet of quotes, a script, and they just gave us answers from that, and that was literally all we got from them. And then they also had this chap called Michael W, who claimed he was just a backer, but I think everybody that was in those comments knew that was not the case. This guy was working unofficially, as he would say, for Ebite, and just being in the comments and basically singing the praises of a product that he received long before everybody else. It was still quite uncertain how he managed to get his so early, and it raised a lot of questions. But this guy was all over the comments with what I guess you can only call toxic positivity. I'd never really experienced that as a thing, toxic positivity, until this. And this guy spends every day and every available hour he's awake in these comments, basically doing Ebite's job for them. But he's doing it in such an arrogant way that it was just pissing everybody off. Everybody that had a question, they're looking for an official answer, this guy would jump in and answer, and he would give weird estimates and percentages about shipping times that he really couldn't back up and had no right to give. But the company seemed quite happy that he was able to do that, and they just would say every now and then to a complaint, oh, he's not our employee. But they wouldn't say anything else what he was, and it seemed quite apparent that he was either part of some sort of third-party moderation team that you can hire for your Kickstarter, and go on with that from there and just be paid or whatever to be in comments, kind of keeping the fires down and giving people answers when the company can't. But either way, it was a very frustrating time for everybody involved. I made maybe one or two comments at the beginning, and as soon as I saw what was going on, I just thought, I'm not dealing with this. It's not worth the stress. I'm going to stay out of it, and I'll wait and see what happens. But I got to November and I still hadn't had this in my hands yet, despite it was supposed to be there, I think, September or October. So I emailed them and asked them what was going on, and they told me that I needed to send them an EORI number, which is a code that companies need when they're importing and exporting goods for VAT and customs purposes. Absolutely no way does a consumer need that, and I argued that with them, that I'm a consumer, I shouldn't need this. But they doubled down and they kept saying to me, we can't get this to you unless you give us an EORI number. And then there were many other people in the comments that were saying the same thing and calling eBay out, saying, we don't need we're consumers, you need these codes, we don't. And it was, again, on top of everything else that was going on, that just kind of made things seem really, really skeptical and a bit more dubious. But then eventually they managed to iron it out, and I got it. So that's been it. It's been a pretty rough Kickstarter. It's been a rough campaign for a product that I would say I was pretty excited about at the beginning, but now that I've got it in my hands, it's, you know, it is what it is. It is a box to keep things in with a charger, which is reported. I haven't tried it because it's USB-C to USB-C. I don't have the stuff for that, but it's been widely reported that they are faulty and do not work. We'll see what happens again, but you know, I'm okay with that. I'll just use my own cable. I think you could probably pull that cable out and use my own one. But, you know, I picked up 2 of these in the deal, and they're okay. But I would say that as a company, Ebite, I would not support any more of their products. I would steer people clear of them. It's definitely not worth the stress of everything that's gone on with it. And, you know, it's a pretty cool device. It's pretty simple, but they got it done, and I got it eventually after nearly a year of confusion and, you know, weirdness. But I got it, so, but I wouldn't recommend it. There are knockoffs out there. Maybe go get one of them. They're cheaper as well. But I would steer clear of Ebite is what I would say of this. And yeah, that's it. So thanks very much for watching, guys. It's a bit of a different video, but I just wanted to get this out there. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.